Hi, Yusuf. Well,
Hey,
I
Yori.
introduce yourself.
Sure. My name is Yusuf Yildiz. I am a Turkish actor, writer, and engineer. Of course, I'm strong at certain ones and not really strong at certain others. Um, I've been in the States for about, it's going to be 13 years in August. And I moved to LA about 3 years ago. Before that, I was in Texas. So, that's me.
I will be translating a little bit between Spanish and Turkish.
Sure.
Él es un actor turco que vive en Los Ángeles, entonces él nos va a dar algunos tips, algunos consejos de cómo ponernos del lenguaje corporal frente a las cámaras. Entonces, so real quick, can you tell us like one tip that somebody should keep in mind when they are in front of cameras, especially when they're filming? Because there's a lot of YouTubers and people who are blogging now, doing meetings online. So one body language that you can tell that anybody can use when they're doing digital meeting, when they're doing Instagram or they're blogging for YouTube.
Sure. I think when you work for a professional set, you're going to have a technical person who's going to arrange the lights for you and all that stuff. But I think in this, especially right now in this day and age, lighting and all these little things, they don't matter as much as they did in the past. So that's why I think we need to focus on first, try to look as best as you can, take a shower, brush your teeth. And if you like, I don't have makeup right now, but I went to the bathroom, got ready for this, trimmed my beard a little bit, brushed my teeth. I try to look as good as I can, and also try to find a good location that the background is going to be a little appealing. And I think the most important thing is the energy. Just like in real life, we feed off of each other's energy. So whoever you're talking to, I mean, I know you, so we got to hang out and all that stuff. So we have the communication already. But even if it is not there, try to connect with the person as much as you can that you're talking to, and they're gonna feel it. Whoever is watching it, they're gonna feel that energy, and it's gonna really sell whatever you're doing. So I think the focus, looking good. If you're a lady, put on a makeup, and if you're doing it on a regular basis, get some ring lights or some other light sources that you can light up the thing, and of course a microphone if you can afford it. But I feel like in the end, regardless of the quality, it's gonna be mostly about your energy and your communication with who you are talking to.
And I thought I was the one talking about energy all the time.
Yeah, exactly. It's important. Energy is everything.
él está diciendo, bueno, que si es una chica que se ponga maquillaje a la hora que sí, el sonido, la luz, todo eso es importante, pero lo más importante es tener la conexión con la persona que estás entrevistando, con quien estás hablando, tener en mente lo que tu audiencia busca y quiere. Entonces es tu energía, que quiere decir, bueno, tu motivación en general, tu predisposición para conectarte con las personas. So, I was telling them that when you say energy, you actually also mean your predisposition to actually connect to people. So what
Exactly.
it is that your inner intention to connect with people when you're doing. And
Exactly.
is there any
Purpose.
exercise that you do? Because sometimes I usually talk to my mom and I say why do people don't know? And my mom always tells me, well, you grew up in business since 5 years old. You've been dealing with people all the time.
Uh-huh.
There's a lot of things that come normal. But for you, that you have to went from a science mind, that's why your story is so intriguing to me. That you went, what is the exercise that you started doing when you have to become vulnerable in front of people? Is there any inner exercise that you do?
I mean, as an actor, the training that you go through, it really destroys the shield that you have. it takes a while. It's not like everybody goes into that acting schools, workshops, or whatever you do. You go in there with all these shields that you put, kind of protect you from, you know, in real life, you kind of want to have those shields around people that you don't really know. But when it comes to acting, those shields are it's just going to hinder your performance or any kind of communication that you have. And what happens in acting schools? It's a process. They literally stab that shield, like they start poking little holes in there, and eventually you are able to let that go and say, you know what, I'm here, I'm vulnerable, and I'm ready to give and take. Um, but I guess for someone who is not doing acting, um, it's I guess trying to get out of your comfort zone is a good exercise on a daily basis because the only way to be comfortable in front of a camera is very similar to being comfortable in public speaking. You know, you got to be comfortable being in front of people, uh, getting silently judged by many things that you have. It may be your appearance, it may be the way you talk, and all that stuff. You got to be able to go and say, you know what, this is me. This is I am 100% here as a genuine person. And if you can get to that point, nothing else is going to matter because you're just going to talk, be yourself, and if they perceive you in a certain way, they will. If they not, they don't. So I think it's all about being genuine and leaving all the shields aside and saying, hey, you know what? I'm here. I'm ready.
It's
Bring it up.
one exercise. For example, you can say like, wow, this thing helped me. Well, in my case, for example, I can say going to the bathroom. If I feel really uncomfortable somewhere, or it's like really crowded, for me, always helps me. Okay, I go to the bathroom, wash my hands, wash my face, and even if I have to get my neck wet or something like that, it's something that I guess I do as a ritual to get me fully present somewhere where I have to be somewhere, but I don't want to be.
I see.
But how is that like one thing that you say as an actor that help you? Like, oh, I don't want to do this paper. I don't. But even if I want to do it, I don't know how it's gonna get across. But like I know some people say I carry a rubber band. Some people say like what it is that you do something like to get you in the moment.
I see. Yes, that's kind of a tough question, but I can give you two exercises that generally work for me. I think one is just literally either walking or doing some sort of light exercise just to loosen your muscles and your body. So get the tension off. That will definitely help. Like I don't know, like jumping jacks. You can just walk around in the house. You can just hype yourself up and kind of get loose. You know, get things working so you're not as stiff. And another thing is I have some vocal exercises. You know, um, as an international person in this country, as a non-native speaker, one of the biggest challenges that I had in the beginning, it's still one of my weakest areas, is my accent, my pronunciation. And what I used to do, especially in the past, I used to do it more often, was literally I have this kind of a poem in my mind, and I literally out loud uh, say it either in front of a mirror or just you know in the house while I'm walking. You know, you can combine too. Just walk around and loudly recite something that you already speak. I mean, this is more for non-native speakers.
Well, some of them, you know, they live in Turkey, so they learn in Turkish.
Yeah, yeah, exactly. So I think just getting those muscles working, just like your body, also your mouth muscles, your tongue, those.
How do you say paper in Turkish?
you found you found one word I have the toughest time pronouncing, even in Turkish. Like paper is easy. You see, paper. Kağıt. And I'm not gonna lie. If I'm sure if you have some Turkish speakers there, they probably heard it. I cannot perfectly pronounce that
Kağıt.
ah sound. ah sound with this little hat on top.
Uh-huh.
I don't know. That's
So,
maybe because of my childhood. I had speech impediments in Turkish as well. Slight one, but yeah, it's killed.
coat,
Yeah, paper.
coat, coat.
I rather say it in English. I'm not gonna lie.
No, but the point is saying in Turkish, coat, coat,
Coat, coat. It's little soft on the ah sound. Coat.
coat.
Yeah, yeah. Of course, it's
Well, we
common.
have to make fun of each other. You have to give me something that's hard for us to give it to them, okay? Well,
I mean, there are plenty of hard things. The sound, sound. I mean, even saying teşekkürler. Like it's. I see that people have a lot of hard time with those S and SH and
teşekkürler,
CH. Yeah,
teşekkürler.
I mean you're good, but that's one of the things I generally notice.
Well, we try to put in the same spot, the same way that that you can laugh about us too. Especially with Zelda, we have one guy who's Turkish. He's trying to teach. His name is Chan. He's Turkish
Uh-huh.
with Chan, and he's very funny the way he's approaching. He
Uh-huh.
does actually. He puts a Netflix clips, and he shows where you're using those words, and it reminds me so much of you. I don't know if you see in. I will connect you with him, but it's very funny the way he explains different words in Turkish, but with American sometimes with some clips, like even with like American movie style.
Uh-huh. Yeah, I mean, I guess there is one thing that you will never get away with. Like, if you're a non-native speaker, whatever you do, there'll be certain words that you will always have trouble with. And you just gotta be okay with it.
My
I
mom
think
makes fun of my native language. The other day, my first language is Guarani, and I always tell people, I'm really good. And my mom was telling me, "You're bad,
Yeah.
you're terrible."
because probably your mom speaks it really well.
But I said, "But half of the world don't know. There's only 5 million people that speak this language."
Yeah, but honestly, in the end, the real communication happens between the energy sharing and your body. It's more important. I can say one word in many different ways, and I can give you a different feeling with it.
Chicas, bueno, me estoy olvidando, a veces me olvido de traducir, chicas, ustedes que a las chicas que hablan inglés y que pueden entender y traducir, por favor, sin pena, si pueden traducir y hablar. Estábamos hablando del lenguaje corporal cuando uno habla frente a las cámaras, y después nos fuimos un rato a los ejercicios vocales. Él dice que su primer idioma no es el inglés, entonces estaba diciendo que él tuvo que hacer muchos ejercicios en inglés frente al espejo cada vez que podía, muchas palabras, para que pudiera practicar y que le sirve en su trabajo de actuación. Entonces empezamos a hablar del turco, de las palabras que es muy difícil de decir en turco, lo que es decir papel en turco, que es, bueno, él les va a decir, how you say paper again?
Coat.
Bueno, ¿cómo se dice?
Coat. Yeah.
I guess we can do that. We can benefit from doing those audio lessons. We say it again. We say it.
Exactly. Repeat it after me. Coat. Coat.
Coat, coat, coat.
Yeah.
Bueno, entonces decir esas palabras cuando te cuesta en otro idioma, decir varias veces frente al espejo, seguir repitiéndote para sentirte más cómoda. Entonces cuando vas a hablar en frente a las cámaras, inclusive él dice que cuando era pequeño había muchas palabras que le costaba mucho decir en turco, él creciendo siendo turco, entonces que las personas tomen mucho tiempo y digan esto y repitan constantemente para que se sientan después cómodos, porque al final en los videos lo que la gente siente es cuán cómodo te sientas. Eso es lo que transmites. So you can repeat all that in Turkish.
I wish I could speak Spanish. Yeah, it's one language that is always on top of my list, and I always learn it a little bit, and then I lose all of it. But you know what? I have faith. One day I'm gonna speak Spanish as good as English. I don't know when, but it's gonna happen. I know. I have a feeling for it.
That's what I said. The next interview will be either in Spanish when you learn it or in Turkish when I learn it.
Let's go with Turkish, because my Spanish may take a while.
Well, you
Yeah.
never know. It's a difficult, both of them.
True. I mean, no, I love Spanish language because I think I have a feeling for it. The problem is, with dealing with all these things in my life, I have the engineering and then writing and acting, all that stuff. Just putting one more thing on top, and I don't like it. It has never been my thing. I don't like giving a little bit of attention to something. I want to really focus on things. Like
Bueno,
if I
chicas, él quiere aprender español, así que si hay alguna de las chicas que quiera enseñarle español, por favor vayan a la página de Yusuf y síganle y vayan a enseñarle español.
what
I
did you
just
just say?
offer you for the girls to help you. I just said, wow, any of you girls that want to teach him, go to his page and start teaching in Spanish.
Exactly. Send me a message. I'm gonna use Google Translate, and I'm gonna type using Google Translate. I'm gonna type
No,
that.
that's not gonna be good. You have to use voice message. From now on, I'm gonna send you voice messages.
Sure. Let's try. Let's give
And
it
I'm
a
gonna
try.
say it in Spanish, and then you will have to answer to me in Turkish.
Oh, that part I can. Yeah. You know what? Somehow I'm actually good at Turkish. I don't know.
Ya escucharon, chicas, él dice que necesita ayuda con el español. Well, talking about immigration and talking about all this, the language and all that stuff, you have a play that's called Not That Illegal. So
Yes.
tell us a little bit how you came about the play of Not That Illegal.
I mean, when you spend about 12 years in this country, you're gonna go through the legal processes, and you're gonna be exposed to what immigrants are exposed to. And as I've been through this process, I think it was in my 6th or 7th year. No, it was even like maybe 8th or 9th year. I was waiting on my green card, and it was taking a long time. And at the time, I was actually studying acting in a conservatory in Texas, and as part of that, we would actually do some writing as well, creative writing. And I was like, you know what, I wanna actually write about the subject, but I want to make it funny. I don't want to make it a drama because like it's kind of dramatic sometimes what we go through. But I didn't want to bore people, and I wanted to write something funny, but also it would actually get people's attention to uh, what is going on, like what kind of struggles that we actually go through. So it started as a little sketch, and then it became a play, and now I just actually, with this downtime, I was able to rewrite full length version of it. So I have a 20-minute version. Jody actually got to see it in New York. We did it 2 times. It was an audience pleaser. They really enjoyed the message and also the humor of it. Now I'm trying to get this full length. It's about 90 minutes, and it actually follows and tells the story from. It takes a bigger chunk of my life and tells a better story there. Of course, it's fiction, but it's based on a lot of my experiences and
I
my
have a
friends'
question.
experiences. What's up?
I have a question about Ali.
Uh-huh.
What is his horoscope?
Ali, my horoscope is Pisces, and
What about Ali? I'm wondering about Ali, the character Ali from the play.
yeah, I'm not really good at horoscopes, but
you gotta give me one, or I can't talk about him. Every time I was gonna do a video recommendation in my mind, it's like, what horoscope is here? I need to talk about his.
I mean, I think you can approach it from this perspective. He wants to live a good life.
He
He's
must be a
about that.
Sagittarius.
Most likely. And he's also a dreamer, though. It's not like he doesn't believe that you are limited as an immigrant. You are limited to what they think you can do in this country. He wants to be just like.
In my mind, he's a Sagittarius.
Okay then.
Continue
Sagittarius then.
talking about Lee.
Yeah. From now on, we're gonna call him Sagittarius. Yes, I'm okay with that. But yeah.
How you say Sagittarius in Turkish?
I gotta look it
Burcu,
up.
right? Burcu is horoscope, right?
It's Burç, yeah. Burç. Horoscope. Sagittarius, I don't know. Like, you're good at those things. I'm not really good at that.
I told you I was gonna surprise you.
Yeah, definitely. Like when I write a character, of course I think about their motivations and if they're dreamers or like they're more grounded, if they're serious or like kind of peachy and fun. But I never think about horoscopes. maybe I should study horoscopes. We'll see. But I would definitely say he's a dreamer. He doesn't want to be put in a box. He knows what he can do and he wants to live a good life. Just like you and I.
Estamos hablando del personaje que él creó basado en su historia personal, en su experiencia como inmigrante. Él primeramente emigró a Texas y después de Texas se mudó a Los Ángeles. Pero todo empezó en Texas. Oh, somebody asked you a question here.
I was about to answer.
Go ahead.
Honestly, my writing started in Turkish. I was writing poems when I was really young, like in elementary school. But then I kind of stopped, and I still journal in Turkish. But most of my writing is in English. I'm not against. In fact, I'm actually, in a couple of years, I want to write something in Turkish and hopefully produce it in Turkey as a play. But surprisingly, after spending about 13 years, I can write better in English than Turkish. As far as speaking is concerned, I think I can speak relatively well in both. But when it comes to writing, I'm having a hard time writing in Turkish. It's kind of strange, but I will. And but for now, my only Turkish writing is my journals that I actually write here and there.
I guess it's like compartment organizer, because for me it's like compartment of organizing is all in English. In English, everything, it's like my imaginary desk is completely organized. Even if the accent doesn't come out good, because I spent so many years studying the grammar that I said.
Definitely. I think I kind of agree with that, but I feel like my problem is since I moved here, I've been just writing in English. Like 90% of my it's okay. There are some questions I want to answer, but so since I moved here, I've been writing in English, and what happened is my writing actually progressed in that area, my grammar and everything. And the only time that I write Turkish or speak Turkish is in a daily language where I don't really care about grammar or the proper way of speaking or writing. So that is my biggest problem when it comes to writing in Turkish, because it's going to be with a broken grammar. It's going to be with the way I speak in real life, and it's not going to translate well. So I need to go back and re-educate myself in the way I write Turkish, and I need to re-educate myself in Turkish grammar. There was a question about Turkish TV shows. I love comedic ones. I think we have a knack for writing really humorous TV shows. When it comes to drama, I feel like when you compare it to American dramas here, the depth that they get into is relatively light. So you're gonna watch it and you're gonna follow it through, but I don't think you're gonna have the same emotional connection to those characters in Turkish soap operas as you would actually do in American produced dramatic TV shows, because characters are really well thought and very three-dimensional here. It may not be so in Turkey. Of course, there are plenty of exceptions to the rule, but I would say comedy, thumbs up, drama, so-so.
How about um, how about like the detective TV shows nowadays in Turkey, the new ones? What do you think about them?
I haven't been following the new ones, but Behzat Ç. Was a really well done TV show. It was a murder crime mystery show.
Can you write down the name, please, right there? Can you type the name right
Sure.
there, please, so you can?
I'm sure nobody knows this. I think they come up with it's Behzat Ç. Really well done, and also what happens in that show is literally you get to connect with all the characters. So they were able to establish that early on, the energy between the characters. Yeah, you are watching a very dramatic show, but you're also following
So,
their
do you
lives.
think, from your perspective, that you can explain to us that you are Turkish, but you also an observer of Turkish culture, from a kind of inside and outsider? Can you tell us if it really portrays a lot more of the Turkish culture then?
You mean that show that I just
Uh-huh.
mentioned?
Yeah.
Oh yeah, definitely. Also, in any kind of writing, if you're Turkish, like even when I write in English, my Turkishness comes out. You know, it's part of the energy. It's part of my writing. So all the Turkish shows from Turkey, definitely, yeah, they portray the culture. They actually tell us what is going on as far as how the direction of the country, how the culture is at that current state. So if you go and watch a show from 20 years ago, it's going to be different because Turkey is different now from 20 years ago.
Somebody's asking also about another TV show.
Ertuğrul, yeah, I haven't watched that much. I'm sorry, I don't really have it. I generally have one or two Turkish shows and one or two American shows that I follow. And besides that, I generally don't have much time to watch that many shows. But if I get to watch it, and if that person asks me again in the future, I'm happy to answer any kind of question, my observations.
Well, we will make him watch it now. We will have him back in few weeks. He has the time for it.
Yeah, and also another one that I really loved watching, it's also an old show, Ezel. Ezel is a good show too.
Oh yes, Estelle, I know.
Ezel was a really good show too.
Excel is one of the few ones with, I don't know, I'm not an expert, but browsing. I can tell that it's closest to the blacklist.
Yeah, I mean, I
To
I
the
think
deep development of the characters, that you don't lose track, that the writers are really good. You see how I light up about it? the writer doesn't lose track of the characters.
exactly, and it's gonna keep you as an audience. It's gonna keep you connected to them. So you want to know more about their stories, what's gonna happen to them, or how their relationships are gonna change and transform as the series go on. That's what keeps us engaged. I mean, of course, you want to have a good story and you want to follow it through, but without that human connection, it's really hard to follow. So truly well done TV shows and movies, you're gonna find a strong connection to at least one, and generally maybe all of the characters in the show.
Any questions? Well, you can ask questions in Turkish too. People that speak Turkish, go ask him in question. Mustafa, you have any question for him? Mustafa, he's the creator actually of a podcast, Turkey podcast.
Oh, nice.
I already offered you to him to interview.
That would be nice.
Go
That would be
ahead,
nice. Yeah, because I actually love speaking in my own language. But the only time I get to speak it is if I'm talking to my family or a handful of friends that I need my communication with in the States. So, if you want to have some conversation in Turkish, definitely shoot it.
¿Alguien le quiere preguntar algo en turco? Dice que sí, le pueden preguntar cualquier cosa que quieran en turco. Anything else that, para la gente que no está entendiendo en inglés, pregunten por favor, aquí pueden preguntar. Well, you're an actor, go ahead, come on.
Okay, I'm an actor, I'm not a singer.
Hey, but one of these days the phone will ask for it. She's the director. Alia, she just took the part of director, so come on.
Yeah, I mean, the only time I actually sang a song was in acting school. I mean, I'm mini bir kuş donmuştu, pencereme konmuştu. There you go. I gave you enough. That's all I can do.
Actually, Alia, he's all yours. I'm offering you for your podcast. She has a podcast in Sweden about Pakistani Sweden in Sweden, but they all crazy about Turkey. So go ahead. It's all yours.
Yeah, I mean, if we have a good conversation, I mean, I like talking about interesting subjects, and especially if I'm talking with someone who has the humor that we can actually have a laugh like we do now. It works out great for me. I would love to.
Hola, Fernanda. Hola, Fernanda. Hola. Well, we have somebody actually now from Mexico, and then another one from Spain. We have people from over the world now joining us. Oh, look, Angela, she has a production company. She's from Venezuela, and she has a production company in Antalya. She produces a lot of shows, and she's actually manages a lot of actors, Venezuelan actors in Turkey.
Okay.
So Angela, he's all yours when he goes to Turkey.
Yeah, exactly. Use me.
Mira, tenemos prueba. Dice que le uses, Angela. We have proof now. It's on video. It's recorded.
Yeah. Exactly. I already gave my permission.
So when he goes to Turkey, they produce a really nice shows, kind of like the Disneyland sing-along.
Nice.
In different resorts, which is super cool.
I don't know how it happened, but I'm sure if you go back and kind of track the history, the South America and Turkish TV production is very related. Like every time I go visit a country in South America, I get to watch Turkish TV shows, literally every single time. I've never missed. I don't think I've ever had an opportunity where I don't get to see a Turkish TV show, and I'm not really looking for them. I'm not gonna lie. Like literally just zapping in my hotel room, all of a sudden I see a Turkish show, and then I go to a coffee shop. I'm having coffee, and I don't even understand what they're speaking around me, and there's a Turkish TV show going on the TV.
Él está hablando de los países que visitó. Él ya se fue a Argentina, Colombia. ¿Qué otro país?
I guess Cuba, didn't get to see a Turkish show there. Chile, Colombia, Argentina. Yeah, so far I guess that's pretty much it.
Oh, look, somebody's inviting you to Mexico now. She said you have to go to Mexico. And look, the one I was talking to you about, Angela, her husband is Turkish, but you look at him and he's more Latin than she is. In the family, they say she's a Turca and he's the Latin guy there.
I mean, every time I'm around Hispanic people, Latino people, they think I'm Hispanic too. I think I'm more. They don't think I'm Turkish. They generally think I'm more from this side of the world.
Well, you can read Spanish, right?
I can, but I don't understand what
And
she's
she says that. She says that. Well, yeah. She's just confirming what you just said. That all the Turkish shows are very popular in all Latin America.
Yeah.
Also, somebody's asking if you've been to Brazil. Have you visited Brazil?
I did, but it doesn't count because I only went to.
Las tres fronteras.
I only went to. It's not coming to me. That famous waterfall, Iguazu. I only went to Iguazu, so it's on my list, on top of my list. I think I'm gonna go there once this pandemic is over. It's probably on. It's gonna be either the first or second destination I go to.
Solo fue a las cataratas de Iguazú. Todavía no fue a visitar otras partes de Brasil.
Yeah, so it doesn't count though. I mean, I have a stamp on my passport, but yeah, it was just a quick trip, a day trip to Iguazu.
Okay, otras preguntas que tengo para él. Do you have any other questions for him? Well, Angela says you can go, when you go to Antalya, you can go dance with them. No problem, you can go dance with them.
Okay. I don't think dancing is back right now. Is it? Is she there right now in Antalya?
Ángela, él está preguntando si ya pueden bailar ahora. No, todavía no, ¿verdad? En Antalya. Then somebody else says, okay, Alia says come to Sweden.
It's becoming more and more common that every time I go to Turkey, I'm going to add one more location in somewhere in Europe. So hopefully, I know it's expensive, so we'll see. It may be one of the top locations or not, but yeah, I'm definitely interested in coming to Sweden.
Okay, Hilda, if you want to ask him some question in Turkish, go ahead. Let's test his Turkish.
Exactly. You don't have to test my Turkish. I think I'm pretty good at Turkish. Spanish, no.
Oh, Angela says no, not yet. They're not allowed to dance yet, so they're.
I see.
Mm-hmm. I see. I guess they're practicing at home. They're practicing at home with her group. If you follow Relampago, we'll send you later. If you follow, they're actually practicing outside. Her dancers are still practicing dancing, and sometimes they do live Zumba.
I see. Okay, I'm generally practicing in my mind.
Oh, she said they also like the Turkish style dance. They holding hand, the Turkish style dance.
Oh yeah, that's very high energy. You burn a lot of calories there, but you need at least two persons. So. It's a group dance. I don't think you can, when you do by yourself, you're gonna look like an insane person. But at least you find two people, who can hold your hands.
I try, but I have the move completely in my brain. It doesn't register. They tell me, don't move your hips, and I'm like, why am I gonna move them?
No, I can actually move my hips. Yeah. Not everything, but I can move my hips.
I know.
They move.
When I try the Turkish dance, they say no, you can't move your hips.
Oh, I mean, yeah, Turkish dances are way more proper. Exactly.
It's proper to move your hips.
No, it's not. It's but
more shoulder. I think it's more of a shoulder.
Oh, definitely. Raise the arms. Have some sort of it. Yeah, very stoic.
How you move.
Okay. Yeah, what kind of Turkish styles though? Because there are plenty of them. Like I said, there's
for example, the Southeast, they move a lot the shoulder, but it's just the shoulder.
Yeah.
But it's not in the rest of the body, no. And then the rest of the body, no. And I can't do
that. I think it's gonna be up to you. You can be creative with Turkish dances too. If you really want to move your hips, move them. If you want to really move your shoulders, move them too. I don't think anybody's gonna stop you. They're just gonna look at you weird. They're gonna say, "Okay, where did you learn how to dance?" But
it was more of bachata in Turkish.
Bachata in Turkish. But I've tried that dancing Latin dances to some Turkish tunes. They actually works out, you know. Yeah, you can do bachata to a couple of Turkish songs if you really want it. Yeah. My confession, my dancing confession of the day.
Well, I must say, we did it around the River Tigris, Tikle, at midnight in Diyarbakir. A whole bunch of girls. I said, come dance bachata with music, and everybody was looking at us like we put bachata.
I mean, you know, I don't think that many people know. In fact, the last time I was in Istanbul, I was looking for a dancing venue for Latin dances like salsa, bachata. I kind of stopped dancing for a while, but back then when I visited about a year and a half ago, I was looking for hangi dansı daha çok özlediniz. Halay çekmeyi ben çok seviyorum. Ondaki enerji, halaydaki enerji başka bir şeyde yok. Bir de hızlı gidebiliyorsun. Yani you can go really hyper when it comes to halay. Oh wow, I switched to English. You see, I was speaking Turkish and without even thinking about it, I switched to English. Let's go back to Turkish.
Go ahead.
Halay,
I want to hear your Turkish too. Go ahead. Tell them in Turkish. Go ahead.
Dediğim gibi halayı çok seviyorum çünkü hani bir grup enerjisi var orada ve dediğim gibi hani bazen abartıp işi çığırından da çıkarabiliyorsunuz ve kalori falan da yakıyorsunuz. Güzel bir şey. Onun dışında ben genelde dans etmeyi sevdiğim için şey yok bende hani böyle bazen birkaç tarzı karıştırıp oynama da olur. Sonra mesela şeyi çok seviyorum. Roman havalarını çok severim. Roman havaları da çok güzel. Gypsy. I'm telling them the gypsy song. They know how to party. Wherever you go in the world, gypsies know how to party. Same thing in Turkey as well. So you know, I enjoy doing that. So if I have to pick two, it's gonna be halay because of the group effect. And also the second one is gonna be the gypsies, Roman havaları.
Interesting.
Okay. Yeah.
Interesante.
Interesante.
Interesante.
You see, I just
Bueno, ahora
use my...
chicas, pongan a explicar que le estaba explicando. Chicas, escriban ahí ustedes que hablan turco. Ustedes que hablan turco, van a traducir todo lo que él dijo en turco para que los demás vean.
En güzel halayı zaten Trakya'da çekerler. Adamlar bayağı işin özünü biliyorlar. İlk hatta böyle dans olaylarını falan sevmemin en büyük başlangıcı Trakya'daki bir düğündür. 17 yaşında falandım. I just told them about the very first time I really got into dancing a lot was when I say I'm really into dancing, I'm not saying, oh man, I'm very focused.
But you
on
enjoy
dancing.
it. That's the most important
I enjoy
thing.
it. Yeah, exactly. So the first time I enjoyed dancing genuinely was a wedding in the Trakya region of Turkey. I don't know. I don't think we have an English word for it, but they have a European influence definitely, and they know how to party. They drink a lot and they dance a lot. So in that section, I kind of gained love for dancing and enjoying all sorts of dances.
Right on your alley.
Yeah. I'm telling you, gypsies. She is saying Chinganeler. I'm telling you, gypsies. They know how to party. Wherever you go in the world, find a gypsy. She knows how to party.
Any questions? ¿Alguna pregunta que le tengan para él? Oh, there she is. Angela says something to you in Turkish.
Oh, wow. Okay. Traditional Turkish dances, they're actually teaching those. Okay. Yeah, I have a few friends here too. My brother, he was really good. Like, he would actually perform the Turkish folk dances in a group.
Angela, ya saben, tú y tu marido, entonces síganle a él. Entonces síganle a él y ya saben, cuando vean que él postea alguna foto que se va a Turquía, díganle, usted ya me prometió, venga a Antalya, que tiene que bailar en Antalya. I'm telling her to start
dancing in Antalya
for her and her husband. So when they see you posting a picture that you're in Turkey, you must come here.
Sure.
But I
If
can
I
tell you,
receive an
she
invitation.
can take you. You can eat for free at the best resorts around Antalya.
But I mean, I love
Free
Antalya.
food.
I love Antalya, so I would not mind going. There you go. She says, gypsies know how to dance. Yeah, of course they do. I'm telling you. Like, I grew up in a smaller cities of Turkey, and my mother's grandparents, they were from this small town in Denizli, and I think 25% of the population, maybe even 50%, was gypsies. And every time there was a wedding, there would be the entertainers playing the instruments, singing, and entertaining people. So gypsies rule when it comes to entertainment.
I'm just explaining for the people who are coming here. The other page is not there illegal, right? Not there.
Yes. Yeah. We are still working on it. I mean, I hope to announce news about upcoming performances, but right now, of course, there's nothing broadly disclosed. But yeah, I really want to produce this full length. And in fact, maybe there is actually a talk about making it a movie, and we'll see. Before I get really old, I think it would be nice if I get to play Ellie in a movie as well.
Why not? Why not? There's a lot of people doing great things with very low budget. I mean, like with the technology people have and what's available now. Actually, there was this director and cameraman, Turkish, who just released his first short film on YouTube right now.
Oh, nice. Yeah, I do have filmmaker friends. I've done low budget films too, and I'm actually talking to a director friend right now.
Well, nowadays the good thing is that low budget does not actually mean low quality. They're very high quality with small budget.
Look at this. Look at this. The quality of this video. Like years ago, you would, in order to have such a quality with this lighting and everything, you would spend thousands of dollars for just a simple basic camera. So yeah, we're in the era of live streaming, Zooms. Everybody is a star now. Everybody can actually produce something. So it's good for creatives.
¿Alguna otra pregunta que tengan para él, chicas? Algo que tenga que ver con actuación, con ser turco, bailar, cultura, todo lo que quieran preguntarle, por favor. ¿Alguna otra pregunta que tengan?
I'm seeing
you
plenty
got
of
your friends?
I'm seeing plenty of Turkish last names. First name is not, but the last name is Turkish.
I'm like, is that chef your friend? I'm like, we always looking someplace to go eat when we go to Turkey.
Yeah. I mean, of course, when it comes to food, my country rocks.
Can you say that in Turkish, the Latina for us, just like Turkey, food is always first?
You want me to say
in Turkish?
Abi canım, bizde zaten yemek üzerine çok fazla şey de var. Laflarımız da var. Mesela kadının karçalısı, yemeğin salçalısı falan. Hani bizim için yemek çok önemlidir. Zaten şöyle bir inanç da var. Bu dünya zevklerinden ahirete, öbür dünyaya taşınacak olan tek şey yemek. Ve bir de tabii ki şey var. Cinsel zevk. O yüzden yemek bizim için çok çok önemli. Ve o yüzden çok başarılıyız. Yemek önemli olduğu için. I just told them there's a belief in Turkey, in our religion, that the enjoyments of this life, there are only two things that's going to be actually passed over to afterlife: sex and food. That's why in Turkish culture there's so much importance to food, and because of that our food is phenomenal.
In my native language also, we say that in one word.
How do you say it?
Ya uamante, ya disfruta. Ya uamante in Guarani means everything.
Okay.
means
So
eating
food
and
is
sex
everything.
and enjoyment, everything in one word.
Yeah. Yeah, it is. You know.
It is. What it is that you, now that you're living in LA, what it is that you miss the most about Turkey in LA?
I mean, I definitely food, Turkish food. Whatever you find, the replacement is not going to be as good as what you can find even on a random street in Turkey. And I think I also like the close knit family connection that you don't really have. I think it's a general thing for this country. Um, in Turkey, also in South American countries, for the most part, the culture is very collectivist. Here, it's very individualistic. So every now and then, you're gonna miss that, regardless of where you live in the States. And I think that would be those two things, definitely food and all that, the close-knit family connection that you have. Um, what else?
What do you do about
yeah.
it? What do you usually do about it? When you miss your family, like, do you FaceTime your mom every Sunday?
Oh yeah.
Or you call your mom every day?
I don't call them every day. We never had that. Even when I was living in Turkey, the family dynamic never required us to have a phone call every day. But almost every day, I actually get to text them. You know, at least, hi, how are you? Is everything all right? But I try to talk to them once a week on FaceTime. And the frequency also changes depending on what is going on in my life. But yeah, for that, you know, technology definitely helps. And when it comes to Turkish food, I actually cook my own food. So I'm able to, whatever I crave, I'm able to actually achieve them and get them. For example, right after this, right now I'm making some Turkish tea. Once this is over, I'm gonna make some sucuk and eat that. And tonight, I think I'm gonna make karnıyarık, which is stuffed eggplants.
Wow, he's cooking. Are you single?
Yeah.
Chicas, vieron, es soltero, cocina, no vive con su mamá. I just said, like, you the whole time.
I know.
Single, not living with his mom, and he can cook.
Yeah, I don't know. I don't know why I'm single then. That's the case.
How many Turkish you can find not living with his mom?
Yeah. But I also enjoy cooking. I think it's because it's a very creative process for me.
Do you do laundry too?
I have a machine, so yeah.
But you know how to put the clothes in the machine.
Yes, and I know how to put them in a dryer, and I know how to take them out, and I know how to fold them.
And it doesn't make you miserable.
No. Not at all. Yeah.
You know what I mean.
Yeah, I know. Yeah. But no, I'm they're self-sufficient and self-sustained for the most part. Of course, you know, you need. I need to have. I work from home and I get to do many things myself. I never ask for any help from anyone. But you know, we're human beings.
And how many kids do you want to have?
I kind of want to say as many as I can afford. But since I don't have any, I think that's a big claim. Who knows? Maybe I may be just satisfied with one or two in the future, but we'll see.
Vieron, chicas, dice que es soltero, vive solo, Él trabaja desde su casa, puede trabajar de cualquier parte. Es actor, le gusta aprender español, no vive con la mamá, sabe hacer los quehaceres de la casa.
I don't know. I did not know exactly what you said, but I kind of have an idea of what you said.
Turkish very much.
Okay, all right.
You can tell that in my past life I was Turkish, right?
Yeah. I think you're becoming more and more Turkish every single day.
Well, when I'm surrounded by Turkish, I embrace my past life.
Yeah, definitely.
Well, some of the girls later I would ask, and I had to ask this stuff now because then they would ask, and I would be like, I don't know, I didn't ask.
Yeah, sure. I mean, I'm happy to answer. I don't always have the good answers, but I'm happy to answer.
Well, it's not about good or bad answer. It's just having for the right person, I guess.
Yeah, that's it.
It's just the right fit, and everybody has, their own pet peeves and what they like, what they don't like. It's different for everybody.
Definitely. Very true.
It's different for every human being. I guess this is why we are so puzzled and sometimes intrigued by other culture, because we have the assumption that they are so different for us.
Yeah.
But at the end of the day, we just don't have a clear mind of what it is that we personally, I as a person can put up with and what I can't.
Yeah.
What do I feel as a person that I can stretch and be flexible about, and what situations will be my breaking point?
Sure. Yeah, I mean, we're all unique, but I think it's very important that we actually get to know each other, know other cultures. Yeah.
Thank you, Yusuf. You make me very happy when you came to New York. You took me to eat.
Yeah, you took me to eat as well. Thank you for that too. Empanadas, I still remember them. I was just gonna say, I think these kind of communications, whether at the culture level, like learning about that culture, or even going more specific and actually knowing someone from that culture, is gonna broaden your horizon, like to levels that you cannot even imagine. That's why being open, and of course you always have your boundaries, and of course something may actually tick you off about that person or about that culture, or you may also even make generalizations, but make them after you actually get to know them. So it's our duty as human beings just to understand each other and have empathy for each other. That's what makes us strong. And I feel like strangely this pandemic actually brings us even closer together, because we realized they're all the same. We all have the same kind of fear, same kind of dreams, same kind of limitations. Human beings are human beings. When you start from that, you actually reach to really lovely, humane levels in your communication. That's what we should do. We should actually strive and try to achieve. Wow, it got deep all of a sudden, huh?
I was gonna say this we will have, Sundays with Yusuf now. We're gonna have serious. This is very profound for us. We're gonna have now Sundays.
Yeah, sure, why not? I mean, if you're gonna talk about good stuff, definitely. You get an audience that will follow us, at least maybe get inspired from the way. I mean, there might be just one sentence exchange between you and I, and it may actually inspire